I had started, when I got started with this Junk Journal July with me, I gathered everything that I thought I would maybe use, just kind of make my own kit. And so I have brought it out with me, and it's sitting over there on the floor. I don't know if you can see that. And I had found this at a thrift store, and it is piano music. And I had planned to use that, and I have not yet. So that's somehow gonna make its way into my crafting. And in addition to, so this little kit with me is just, I don't know if I can even get it all in frame, but it is full of, well, I pulled out on top. Let's set this aside for a second. We're gonna see if we can get this all in frame. So in this box, so this is a craft subscription kit box from the Planner Society. I used to subscribe to that for several years when I first got into the planning community, and I try to save them and reuse them for, you know, my project boxes. So I use this one to fill up with pretty much all the things that I kind of thought I could use, and they're all things that I have in my stash. Papers, there's some things that, okay, they're kind of stuck together. Little things that I had made before, and little pieces of ephemera maybe that I bought. These are little pieces I just stapled together to have, maybe to use for stuff. So it is full, and I did try to organize this in the beginning. This actually is an item. I just thought the colors looked nice. This is a sticky notepad from one of the kits. But I have in here just lots of papers, some that I had copy dyed, some that I had painted on. Obviously, I tore some out of a Reader's Digest book that I did purchase. Obviously, there's some things in here I purchased and just haven't used, or this one specifically. I bought this right before Junk Journal July started, because it was on clearance and it was already on sale. So it was like, I don't know, 25 cents or 10 cents, but I just love the cover. And it was already falling apart, so I felt like I was gonna rescue it. And I'll probably do maybe an altered book out of it. But I went through and I pulled out the illustrations that I thought I'd use. So that's what this pile is, illustrations. And these, I mean, some of these book pages I've had, and I don't junk journal as often as I'd like. I have to have time to do it. I have time. This was on a tag. So when I get things in the mail or purchase things, I put them in a pile, so right over here, and I process them. So this was a fundraising thing that we went to the first weekend of July. I saved the coupon, and we actually won. So that's gonna go in my journal. This was a tag from something my daughter had bought, so I said, I'm gonna use it. Just cut off the label. And another thing from a thrift store, but I like the tag. So as you can see, there's things over here that I have just piled, that's not piled, but you know, I set them aside thinking I'm gonna use these. My daughter bought this, it's a glass soap dish dispenser for junk. See, July is also plastic free July, so we've been slowly trying to integrate less plastic. But the container, I thought, clearly I can use this as a window on something. So there's so many great elements. Just, I really try to think of, if a package comes in, how can I downsize it and use it in my crafting, and save it from the landfill. So this is cardboard, but it's really thick, and I want to try to use one of these circle elements in my journal this month. So it didn't fit in here, but hadn't necessarily planned this to be a show you what I got video, but might as well since I've got it in here. So I just spent really just a day gathering all the things that I thought I would use. This was in one of the books on flowers that I got from like Goodwill. And they had a couple of these little pamphlets in there, so I just put them in there. And I thought, well, you know, I can find a way to use these. I think this was in the flower book too. Yeah, it was. So, as you can see, I've got some of them are leftover pieces from other projects, bits and pieces. This might have been something that was sent to me in a swap once. Yeah, so I have pages from my Hobonichi cousin. I wanted to test it out and see how this style of paper would fit in my junk journaling. So, things that I had used as like drop cloth before. So all in here, this is all back of a packaging. I made something earlier with that. I do want to use this. Maybe I should set this out for reinvent the prompt reinvent. I use this the lace in this when this is the pattern. I thought, you know, I'm gonna find a way to put in there. Where can I put this? Let's put it there. Again, just magazine pages that I've found, or I don't know, this was in something from the Goodwill. A lot of this is thrifting. I do have some coffee dyed paper, so that gets to our prompt, our next prompt. So I am going to use some coffee dyed papers, and I have some, what is this? Like tracing paper, or what's that other stuff called? Anyway, I could maybe use that. So I kind of tried to gather these by textures. So when I went looking for something, they'd kind of be together. So all the book pages, all the tissue papers, and then more elements, the things I didn't finish using. Bits and bobs, really. And then packaging at the bottom. So that's what I have in here, pretty much. I mean, they're all pretty neutral, so they would kind of be a good base for anything. I'm gonna set these aside. I have another little box for little bits. I did make this at the beginning just to have like a little master board of colors that I thought I'd like for things, so I still have some of that left over. Yeah, so that's what I have in this box. And in this bag is more. But there's no way I'm going to use all this for July. I organized them in groups. So these are a lot of cutoffs. A lot of cutoffs from previous projects. And I grouped them together. And they're all in bags that I've gotten from shopping things. So this, I don't know where that one came from, a bookstore. And this one is mostly envelopes. Yeah, so this one's full of envelopes, because if it comes in my house and I can reuse it for something, I will. Obviously, some of them, like political ads and stuff, I try to get rid of, but you know, if they're plain or semi-plain that I could reuse, or color or paint, I do. So they're in here. Some more of these kind of bags are in here, and paper, I think, that was wrapped around things that I purchased. So, this, I didn't put this with the tissue, but these were around some books I'd gotten from a thrift store, and they were still in there. They were just these kind of transparent, translucent, like dust covers. So I saved those. And another envelope from my, didn't fit in the bag, from a sticker subscription. Drop cloths that I used, obviously, for working on top of, but they make great collage elements. And more. This hasn't helped me narrow down what I'm doing for today's prompt, but we're here. So another tag. It's on the tag pile. This was a file folder, coffee dyed, that I used to one half in another project, so I've just been holding on to it. Why do we do that? I think I used it for like a, you know, a book cover, which I think that would be good again. And then paper, just different types and textures, and corrugated cardboard. Okay, these were the pages. I was wondering where these were. These were the pages I pulled out of a flower book that I had gotten, I do not know, years ago, and they're on my bookshelf, and I just had such a hard time actually pulling the pages out, so I said I'm gonna do that. So they're just illustrations, and then I think there's also big color illustrations all in there. And I did like this. Let's put that aside. Let's plan on making, this was going to be the cover to my junk journal for Junk Journal July. Well, cover, label, title, I don't know what. Put that aside. Again, I have books full of receipts and ledger paper. Anytime I find one of these at a thrift store or someplace, I pick it up. Garage selling, wherever, because they last so long. My piano music that I am going to use. I just have this little piece. Well, let's use that one too. And more of the, this is just flower, color keys for flowers from that book. So, oh, I had made that for Reinvent Day, and I decided not to use it, I guess. Well, let's set it aside. And I was wondering where I set these down. So I got these little stamps the same time I got that book, and at the same place and everything, and I just test them on this paper, and I was like, I can use it in Junk Journal July. Clearly, it was probably like just a couple days before, and I was just pulling out what I wanted and trying. So more dyed paper, doily, tons of amazing old sheet music that my girlfriend gave me, piles of it. It's very brittle, so I mostly have to use it in collages, but it's fine. Another envelope. Yeah, too big for my file. Another drop cloth, which I guess at some point I think I maybe need to use it for something, like collaging on or something. So I must have been using this in 21. So there you go. Lots of packaging. If it comes in the mail, I pile it in here. And these are envelopes I painted. So this is my box of things that it was good to go back through and look at. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta, if you don't see what you have, you kind of forget. So it's giving me new ideas of things to make, or at least things I definitely want to use. All right, so now that I have found my work surface again, I also have this little cigar box that I think I got this at, like, I don't know, an estate sale, yard sale. And I just put, like, as I'm working, all my little scraps from my current projects, I throw in here. And then I also have, obviously this was from this, when I find things in magazines that come in, I flip through them, I tear them out, what I like, and I get rid of the rest of the bag. I can't keep everything, but I try. So clothing labels, I don't know, strip things that I think I'm gonna use. And then in the bottom I have things that have just been sitting here for a little while, because you know, you dig through and you usually get the stuff on top. So I'm trying to challenge myself to actually use this stuff, and they're just the little bits, you know, that collect. So thanks for joining me as I kind of take you through my what's in my junk journal kit. I filmed this before I did this day's prompt, so that video is already up. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.